It was an occasion of too little, too late for the Evansville Otters last night as they dropped their 6th straight game in a tough fashion, 5-2 to the Windy City Thunderbolts. Tonight, the Otters looking for some redemption and to find their way back into the win column and as well right back into the talk as one of the best teams in the West Division. A good evening to you. Welcome inside historic Bosse Field. I'm Matthew Will, joining you here from the press box. And for Evansville, it's been a couple of weeks long now, maybe even 3 or 4 by this point, where it's been the same story. The Otters get men on in very numerous occasions throughout the game, but they strand them out there, even when they have certain individuals grab extra bases with stolen bases potentially, or maybe it's an extra base hit. They get themselves into scoring position. I mean, the Otters last night alone had 2 different times with the bases loaded, one of which with only 1 out, and they couldn't bring anyone in the half inning. That's got to change for Evansville to find their way back into the win column. They can certainly do it tonight as they're facing off against a Windy City team who is having a bullpen night, going to be switching pitchers a little bit more often than they probably would like. And because of that, it's a chance for Evansville to maybe hop on the scoreboard a little earlier than usual and grab a lead and run with it in this ball game. Ryan O'Reilly's going to get the nod for the Otters tonight on the season. He's clocked in a 5-5 record in his 76 innings. He's had good strikeout numbers, 73, just about 1 per inning he's pitched. He's given up 40 runs on 80 hits in that time as well. He's worked with just about every catcher the Otters have had this year. He's put games in with Felix Phillips, Ronnie Allen Jr., Devin Buckner, Jacob Bisharoff. The one that he has not worked with yet in a game is Brody Tanksley. That'll be the man behind the plate for Evansville tonight as that pitcher-catcher battery looks to find some success and hopefully deliver Evansville back into the win column. We take this time to walk you through the Frontier League standings and where Evansville sits right now. 3rd best in the West Division. Schaumburg's 2nd best, 9.5 back of the Wild Things. Evansville's 2 games back of Schaumburg. Joliet's 1 game back of Evansville. So a loss tonight from the Otters and a win from Joliet could have Joliet hop the Otters into the 3 spot and effectively put Evansville out of a playoff spot as of right now. Lake Erie's a couple more games down. They're a game and a half behind Joliet. Then it's a 2-game buffer to Gateway, a 4.5 game buffer to Florence, and then another 2 games down to Windy City. The gap starts to get a lot bigger once you get past Joliet and Lake Erie, but they are right on the heels of Evansville. And any given night, Evansville could see their playoff chances diminish into potentially towards nothing. Quebec still leads the way in the East Division. They're 3.5 up on Ottawa. Ottawa and Tri-City were supposed to play a doubleheader today, and that was going to give us a little more understanding of where those 2 teams might end up. They only got halfway through game 1 before they ran into rain, so they are pushing back a game till tomorrow. A lot of things are changing there, so because of it, Ottawa's 3.5 back in the East Division. Then Tri-City and Sussex County are both at 6 games back. A half game back of them is New York. That's when you see the gap back to Trois-Rivières and New York gain just a little bit. To this point, though, Empire State, the only team in the league eliminated from playoff contention. Everyone still has a quality shot right now as we enter the most hectic 2.5 weeks of the entire season. It all comes down to this push for the postseason. And for Evansville, it starts with a Wednesday night game here against Windy City, a game that they've got to think of as a must-win. 6 straight losses, a lot of those games being games that you had yourself in a position to potentially win the ball game. You had yourself in a position where you could put runs on the board in numerous qualities and get yourself leads in the game, but they were not able to do that. Austin Gossman had 1 little stretch where he struggled in that 4th inning. Other than that, he was very good on the mound. Kevin Davis was very impressive as well. He gave up the 1 2-run home run, but other than that, I think he had 7 strikeouts. It was either 6 or 7 strikeouts. I thought he was fantastic. It was a great night of pitching for Evansville, but the bats just could not answer anything Windy City was doing. The lineup looks just a little bit different for Evansville tonight. Miles Gordon will return to the Edward Jones leadoff spot. Then it's a little new look in the middle as Rosario and Mcnamee round out the starting 3. Steven Sensley returns to the lineup before J.R. Davis and Zach Bierman. Then we've got the tank, Brody Tanksley. He is back behind the plate again tonight. George Cleo and Andy Armstrong round out this starting nine for Evansville. On the other side of the baseball, Brian Klein will lead off once again for Windy City. Bats left, plays second base. Batting second will be Bryn Martinez, the switch-hitting center fielder, for Jake Boone. Rounds out that top three. Richards, Spillane, and Isaacson make up that middle three once again. Isaacson and Richards just switched places. Then we see the new face of Cole Kahler, who's going to play short tonight. He falls into the 7 hole. He's a switch hitter before Jonathan Neves and Jalen Greer will round out this Windy City lineup. Justin Miller will get the start on the mound. He's a bullpen arm, though, so look for Windy City to potentially go to their bullpen a little bit sooner than you might think, as he's probably on a limit that would keep him at 3 or 4 innings, potentially. Ryan O'Reilly just finished up his warm-up tosses out there right, and the managers are just about to conclude their meeting at the plate, which means we are getting awfully close to the national anthem and time for baseball here in beautiful Evansville, Indiana. Perfect night for baseball as we're sitting in the low 80s. There's a little bit of a breeze. Other than that, it is absolutely wonderful out there. We'll take a break, and on the other side, we've got first pitch here from beautiful Bossy Field. Don't go anywhere. First pitch between Windy City and Evansville is next. It's time for baseball in beautiful Evansville, Indiana. Before we go any further, we want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball right here on the Otters Digital Network is presented by Working Distributors Evansville. Thanks to them for everything they do for the Evansville Otters. With that, we head to the mound and introduce you to tonight's starting pitcher, Ryan O'Reilly. Gets the nod up on the bump. O'Reilly is a 6'3" righty out of McNamee, Illinois. Throws the ball hard, throws the ball accurately. It all depends on if the Otters can give him some run support. Those are the games he's struggled the most in. The games that he really has nothing to work with. On the other side of things, he's 5-6 on the year, a 5.0 ERA. Just about, and strikeouts per inning to his season. He's throwing home to Brody Tanksley. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Or give them a call at 812-475-9000. With that, we look over at the starting nine for Windy City this evening. Brian Klein gets us started. He's batting lefty and playing second base. The switch-hitting Bryn Martinez is the second man. He's playing center field. Boone will round out this starting inning. He's playing third base. Richard, Spillane, and Isaacson man the middle three. Kahler, Neves, and Greer round out the starting nine. Brian Klein makes his way to the plate, and we are ready for baseball here from historic Bosse Field in Evansville. O'Reilly has himself ready, and the first pitch comes home for a called strike one at 6:34. 82 degrees, our starting temperature. The 0-1 pitch home is sent foul to the left side. Immediately takes the count to 0-2. Pitch outside for ball one. And that takes our count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. O'Reilly takes a second for the 1-2 pitch to Brian Klein. Cranked out towards right field, and it's down in front of Baez in right for a leadoff single for Windy City.
Late changes for Evansville's lineup to update you. Mcnamee is now the designated hitter. Jeffrey Baez bats fourth in right field.
So that will now bring up
base.
the two-hole hitter, Bryn Martinez. He's the center fielder tonight, also a skilled shortstop. But of course, that speed also can be replicated out there in center field. That's the reason for the changes today. Ryan O'Reilly gets himself set prior to the first pitch of this at-bat. Kicks and delivers. It's sent out towards right again. Baez chasing back towards the wall, and it's over his head. It bounces over the wall here, and it's a ground rule double. First time I've seen that at Bosse Field this year. There's runners at second and third. With nobody out.
Strikeout bat of the game. That's third. At third base, 6, Jake Boone.
So now the three-hole hitter, Jake Boone, on his way to the plate. Windy City off to a hot start in this one. Back-to-back hits here to start off the first. Sinsley takes the day off. Have a change. It's actually Bierman at first. They pop up right there in front of home plate. Tanksley will step out and make the catch for out number one, a very important out number one for Evansville. So that'll bring up the right fielder, Jarius Richards, with 1 out, runners at second and third.
32, Jarius Richards.
Another lefty here in the lineup. O'Reilly's looking in towards his catcher, Tanksley. Prior to the first pitch to an outfielder, Jarius Richards. The first pitch home Taken for a called strike one on that outside edge. The 0-1 to Richards. Swinging strike two. He chased that one out of the zone and swung a little bit too early. He's back 0-2 in the count. Long wait for O'Reilly up there as he gets set. Runners at second and third, one out, and an 0-2 count to Jarius Richards. Pitch comes home. High and outside, good for ball one. Big out to get here for Ryan O'Reilly. A 1-2 on the way home. Swinging strike three, got Richards to chase outside. And it's the first German American Bank strikeout of the day for Ryan O'Reilly.
Strikeouts.
O'Reilly trying to get himself this final out and get out of this tough situation here in the first inning. Bryn Spillane, the designated hitter, at the plate now. Righty's waiting on his first pitch. It's on the way, and he pushes it out to the right side, but foul will get itself out of play.
That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Oh, 1 count to the DH, Bryn Spillane. There's runners at second and third, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. An 0-1 hit down the third base line. It stays fair. It's off the glove of Davis. He will not make a throw, and because of it, a run's going to score on the error from Davis. Hugged that third base line really tight. Hit off the glove just right for Davis, and he opts not to throw over to first. Martinez is going to stay put at second, and Spillane's going to drive in a run. So now the first baseman, Peyton Isaacson, on his way to the plate. Two outs, runners at first and second now. The catcher, first baseman, Peyton Isaacson, taking a called strike one on the outside edge. Isaacson listed as a catcher and can play behind the plate, but he's manned a lot of first base recently. An 0-1 hit sharply to the right side. Baez going back towards the corner. He's going to watch it fly. Gone. A 3-run home run has given Windy City a 4-0 lead here in the top of the first. Otters were oh so close to grabbing that final out. It got away from J.R. Davis, and now suddenly 4 runs against Windy City here in the first inning. T-Bolts picking up where they left off yesterday. Picking up runs in multiple opportunities. So now Cole Kahler steps his way to the plate. And beforehand, O'Reilly's going to step off and reset. First pitch misses for ball 1. 2 outs, nobody on after that 3-run home run. That's helped Windy City get themselves out to a advantage here. 1-0, catches the high outside corner, and with it, the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Doing a walkie around the updated defensive alignment for Evansville. Rosario, Gordon, Baez left to right across your outfield. Davis at third, Khalil at short, Armstrong at second, Bierman at first, not Steven Sinsley. There will be no Sinsley tonight. It's Bierman instead in that position over there. And instead of Sinsley in the 4-hole, Jeffrey Baez fills in. That's why he's in right. And he takes the place of Elijah Mcnamee, who will be the designated hitter this evening. A couple late changes for Evansville. A 1-2 outside takes the count to an even 2 ball, 2 strike, 2 outs. Not much breeze at all tonight as a 2-2 comes home to Kahler. Hit on the ground towards Armstrong. He'll step in a few steps. The throw over to first is in time for out number 3. But not before 4-run score for this Windy City squad. We head to the bottom half of the first. It's Windy City 4, Evansville headed to the plate. We head to the bottom half of the first inning and take you to the mound where Justin Miller is going to get the start for Windy City. He's a bullpen guy on the year, but today it's going to be a crew effort there from the left field end. We're ready to get set here as Miller's making his 35th appearance of the year. His record sits at 3-3 officially. Miles Gordon will be the Edward Jones leadoff hitter for the game. We'll get to the full starting 9 of Evansville in just a little bit. First pitch home to Gordon, taken low for ball 1. Miles Gordon returning back to this leadoff spot after taking a couple nights away from it. 1-0, stays high and outside. He's got a couple of pitch lead. Pitch comes home for Miller. That one does catch the zone on the outside edge, and with it, our count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. A 2-1. Taken for another called strike on that outside edge. So now Miles Gordon will have to get a little more defensive at the plate. A 2-2. Pushed out towards the shortstop, Kahler. He'll charge in towards it. The throw to first is not going to be in time, and Miles Gordon has himself a leadoff single. Bounced one too many times in front of Kahler at short. Because of it, Evansville's got themselves a leadoff man on for the second straight night. At this point, we do want to walk you through the starting nine for Evansville. Updated starting nine from our pregame show. It's still Miles Gordon that led off, but Bryn Rosario batting second, playing left. Then Elijah Mcnamee as the DH, batting third. Batting fourth is now Jeffrey Baez, who's playing right field. Batting fifth, the third baseman J.R. Davis. Batting sixth, the first baseman Zach Bierman. Seventh is the catcher Brody Tanksley. Batting eighth is the shortstop George Khalil. And batting ninth is the second baseman Andy Armstrong. Pitch works a bit too far outside for ball one on Bryn Rosario. He had a wonderful night last night. 3 for 5, picking up consistent hits in those early parts of the games. Was a part of one of the opportunities that the Otters had with the bases loaded. Rosario has certainly been a good find for Andy McCauley and his entire coaching staff. He fell into this lineup just a few weeks ago and hit the ground running, really. 1-0 home. There goes the throw out to second, and it's not going to be in time. Miles Gordon has himself a stolen base. Miles Gordon working his way up the stolen base chart. He's been the top man for Evansville this year. Miller getting set for the 1-1 pitch. Runner at second, nobody out. And Rosario fouls one off to the left side. So time called for a second as we reset. A nod home for Miller. He's ready for the 1-2 pitch to the two-hole hitter Bryn Rosario. It's down in the dirt as our count evens up at a pair of balls, pair of strikes. Miles Gordon has himself out at second after the leadoff single and a stolen base. Bryn Rosario looking at a 2-2 pitch, home now. It's grounded weakly over to the right side. And we will stay even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Since the beginning of July, Bryn Rosario has the top batting average for Evansville, up there north of 300. Two push down the left field line, but it's going to work itself foul and get out of this place. So with it, we remain dead even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes for Rosario, and he opts to call time before the next pitch. Justin Miller taking his time up there on the bump, really being methodical about pitches he's sending home. The 2-2 to Rosario. Swinging strike 3, it fell in the dust, and he gets tagged out for a swinging strikeout, the first strikeout of the day for Justin Miller.
Batting third, designated hitter 9.
So we head to the designated hitter this evening, Elijah Mcnamee. He's batting in the 3-hole. Mcnamee has worked his count, or his average, to 278. First pitch to Mcnamee, taken on the inside edge for a called strike. In the Otters' last 10 games, Elijah Mcnamee is one of 2 Otters who's played all 10. He has a 263 average in those last 10 games, 1 hit per game. The 0-1 to Mcnamee. Swinging strike 2 as he was just ahead of that pitch. No balls, 2 strikes for Elijah Mcnamee. An 0-2 home. Swinging strike 3. And it's back-to-back strikeouts here for the Otters after the leadoff man got on. So now Jeffrey Baez will be the last hitter for Evansville here in the first inning, trying to answer with anything after allowing 4 first-inning runs to the T-Bolts. Right fielder Jeffrey Baez, a late addition to the lineup, looking to help keep the Otters from being left all alone in this first. Starts off with a hefty swinging strike 1. Oh, 1 the count for Jeffrey Baez. He's got a man out there at second with 2 outs. Ball hit sharply to the right side, ends up over towards the seating area, just above the Otters bullpen area. Oh, 2 the count for Jeffrey Baez. Otters trying to avoid going down 1-2-3 after the leadoff single. Ball fouled back into the netting. Will keep Baez alive for right now. A little bit of a wait now as Jeffrey Baez gets himself reset. Pitch comes home on the 0-2. It's hit lightly to the left side. Boone will charge in. His throw to first is in time for out number 3. Evansville gets a leadoff single, but can't do anything with it. We've played 1 full inning. It's Windy City 4, Evansville 0 here on the Otters Digital Network. We head to the top of the second inning. Evansville got themselves a leadoff man on, but was not able to do anything with him. And that's how we stand going into the second. Let's take a look through the Frontier League standings as we enter this Wednesday evening. Washington is almost at a full 10 games up. It's 9.5 right now between them and Schaumburg. Forget wanting to clinch your playoff spot. Washington can start to count down the days till they potentially clinch the West Division. They're off to a great pace right now. Evansville is currently a couple games back of Schaumburg, 1 game up on Joliet. The Slammers could come out of nowhere tonight and steal the 3rd place in the West Division from Evansville. Everyone kind of falls in order after that. Quebec still has their lead over in the East. Ottawa and Tri-Cities game tonight was rained out, so they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. Then we might see those 2 teams swap or make some moves. Hard to tell right now. We'll know more after their doubleheader tomorrow evening. First pitch of this half inning is in for a called strike on Jonathan Neves. An 0-1. Crank to the right side, right at Armstrong. He plays it straight into the glove and over to first for out number 1. I got to Andy in a hustle. He's able to keep it in front of him. To the 9-hole spot we go with the left fielder, Jalen Greer. Stands in that right-hand batter's box now. First pitch stays low for ball 1 to kick things off. An 0-1 is inside. Sorry, the 1-0 is inside. And Greer takes a 2-0 lead in the count. A 2-0 for Greer. It's just above the elbows. And a 3-0 home now. Taken for a called strike. That one just under the elbows. Greer still has himself a lead in the count, though, 3-1. 3-1 stays low and inside, and with it, Greer's going to get himself a free base.
Back to the top of the order for the Thunderbolts of Windy City, second baseman for Ryan Klein.
And already here for the second time this evening, we've got the leadoff man, Bryn Klein, making his way to the plate. He just joined Windy City yesterday. Still looking for his first hit in a T-Bolts jersey entering this game, and he got it right away to start this one off with a single. First pitch home to Klein. Catches the outside edge for a called strike 1. Most of his 2022 was spent in high A and low A within the Braves organization. Fell out a couple of weeks ago, and that's when he found his place here at Windy City. O'Reilly's going to go check on his runner, but Greer's back in plenty of time. A 1 pitch to Klein, and it's sent foul to the left side. Will end up bouncing off the netting, back out towards the field of play. Ryan O'Reilly, open stance up there on the bump. Again, they're going to go check over on the runner, but he's back in time.
Freeze! Everybody clap your hands.
An 0-2 home. Stays high and outside, and with it, the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 home. Hit down the right field line, but foul. Will end up near the Otters bullpen. One and 2 count for Bryn Klein. O'Reilly fires home, and it's a swinging strike 3. The second German-American Bank strikeout of the game for Ryan O'Reilly.
That's a German-American Bank strikeout. Center fielder to Bryn Martinez.
So back to the second batter in this Windy City lineup, center fielder Bryn Martinez. He had a double back in the first inning. Another throw over to first. That one's good, but Greer's still back in time. First pitch to Martinez is hit weakly on the ground to the right side. It's in foul territory by quite a bit. So our count falls to 0-1. Ball sent right back up the middle, just about catches Ryan O'Reilly. He lost the glove, and it's through for another base hit. So Bryn Martinez is off to a
The Hoosier
2-for-2 start to the day.
of the game. At third base, 6, Jake Boone.
Greer advances to second, so there's men on first and second with 2 outs here in the second inning. Both of the run-scoring plays in the first inning for Windy City came with 2 outs. We're in a similar situation now. First pitch to Boone. Stays a bit too far high and inside for ball 1. A 1-0 pitch to Boone is fouled in towards the umpire behind home plate tonight, which is Roberto Pattison. Tyler Thurman's running things on the right side of the infield. Larry Hudson on the left side of the infield. Same 3 from last night. Just rotated as per usual. A 1-1 home to Boone. That one's just at the elbows for a called strike 2. Certainly the highest called strike we've seen today. And with it, O'Reilly has himself a chance to get himself out of the inning. O'Reilly fires home with a 1-2. It's low and in the dust, and Tanksley's able to get over there and keep it in front of him. Tanksley out of nowhere has seen his usage go up dramatically. This is his 5th straight start. The 2-2 to Jake Boone. Launched out towards center. Gordon's chasing in. Armstrong's falling back, and it's Armstrong who brings it in for out number 3. Otters able to get themselves out of this second inning. We've played 1.5. It's Windy City 4, Evansville 0 here on the Otters Digital Network.
2, J.R. Davis.
J.R. Davis is going to be the one to kick off this bottom of the second inning for Evansville. Lots of work to do for the Otters early in this one. Davis, Bierman, and Tanksley are the three due up. First pitch home to Davis. It's across for a called strike one. Oh, 1 to Davis. Another called strike, this one on the outside edge. A couple of good pitches from Justin Miller to start. An 0-2 is outside, and with it, the count expands out to 1-2. A 1-2 to the third baseman, Davis. Oh, just missed on that inside edge. That's a really good pitch from Justin Miller. Two, another close pitch on that inside edge. But Davis is gifted another pitch. So we expand to 3-2 now. A payoff pitch to J.R. Davis here to lead off the bottom half of the second. Falls in for another ball on the inside. A couple of really good-looking pitches. J.R. Davis is going to kick off this second inning with the first walk of the game for Evansville.
Batting sixth, the first base, 45, Zach Biermann.
So now the hard-hitting first baseman, Zach Bierman, makes his way to the plate. Davis stands shortly off first. First pitch to Bierman is right back to the pitcher. They go to second for one. The relay to first in time. And it's a 1-6-3 double play. And that has certainly personified this last few weeks for Evansville. Get themselves a hard-earned opportunity and a man on to start an inning, and immediately it's wiped away. First pitch is outside, ball one to the catcher, Brody Tanksley. (1-0). That one is near the same location, this time a called strike. Ball sent foul, and with it, the count goes to 1-2.
It's construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
The 1-2 to Tanksley. Stays outside, and with it, our count evens up at 2-2. An even counts. Swinging strike three. Evansville gets the lead man on, but a double play and strikeout end it very quickly. We've played 2 full innings. It's Windy City 4, Evansville 0. You're on your home for the Evansville Otters. At home and on the road, the Otters Digital Network. We are at the top of the third inning in this one. Windy City got themselves a 4-pack of runs in the first and since have put it in cruise control. Quick look around how things are looking in the league right now. Sussex County and Empire State are postponed due to rain, as are Ottawa Tri-City. As for the rest of things, Florence has themselves a 4-3 lead in the top of the 7th inning against Washington. New Jersey up 5-4 at New York. They're in the bottom of the third right now.
In right field, 32.
The Lake Erie Crushers have themselves a 1-0 lead in the top of the fourth against the Schaumburg Boomers. And the Joliet Slammers already up 4-0 in the top of the third against Gateway this evening. So Ryan O'Reilly will reset before the first pitch here to Jarius Richards, in for a called strike one. Oh, 1 to Richards. Swinging, strike two. Certainly a plus for Ryan O'Reilly so far in this one. He's got himself some early 0-2 counts. Oh, 2 home to Richards. Well outside for ball one. Tomorrow night's the last game of this short 3-game homestand for Evansville. They're on the road to Washington this weekend before they finish their home schedule next week with a 6-game homestand here at Bosse Field. Tuesday through Sunday are those games. Ball fouled off to the right side is going to end up near Evansville's bullpen area. The 1-2. Half swing as that one's left alone for the outside. Evens the count at 2-2. A 2-2. Skied high to the left side, but foul. Does get itself out of play as well.
Overhead foul ball. Brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
2-2 the count for Jarius Richards. The count started 0-2. On the way home, it's zoomed to the right side past Bierman. Baez goes running towards it, and he's able to cut it off for a long single for Richards. And it's 3 innings for Windy City, and they've got base hits in each of them.
Designated hitter, 34, Bryn Spillane.
So now the designated hitter, Bryn Spillane, on his way to the plate. He was about to be out number 3 in that first inning, but an error from J.R. Davis allowed him to reach and a run to score. Moments later, Peyton Isaacson sent a 3-run home run out of this ballpark. O'Reilly looks over to first, and they've got the man picked off. Great throw over, and Richards took one extra step towards second. Because of it, it's a pickoff play for out number 1. Sure, that one helps the confidence a little of Ryan O'Reilly. First pitch to Spillane now on the inside for ball 1. 1-0 counts as the pitch comes to Spillane. It's sent out towards center field. Gordon will chase back a few steps and stay right there for out number 2. So it looked like it could be another big inning for Windy City, immediately taken away after the Otters were able to grab a couple of quick
First
outs.
baseman, 15, Peyton Isaacson.
The first pitch to Peyton Isaacson is fouled back into the netting for ball one. An 0-1. Broken bat sent to the right side. It's into Armstrong for out number 3 as he sends it over to first, and the Otters are able to get out of it right after a broken bat play there. Goes some more lumber for the Fire. Get your new lumber at Me House Lumber. And with that, we head to the bottom half of the third inning. Otters still trail by 4. Bottom of the third inning, George Kahler, Andy Armstrong, and Miles Gordon due up for Evansville. The Otters are desperate for anything right now. Got themselves a leadoff man on in the second, but an immediate double play ended that hope. George Kahler will start with a ball one outside. (1-0) works high and in for Kahler, and he takes himself a 2-ball lead in the count. At 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 to Kahler. Good for a called strike. A 2-1 for Kahler. Cranked out towards right, chasing back and then in as Richards plants himself underneath it and just barely brings it in for out number 1. That ball was moving a ton on him. So to the 9-hole hitter, Andy Armstrong, we go now.
1, Andy Armstrong.
Armstrong had himself a couple of hits last night, one of which just being a hard-earned infield single. First pitch home. It's taken for ball 1 as Armstrong was showing like a bunt. Ball put down the right field line. Richards running towards it, and he's able to get there in time for out number 2. Great contact from both Kahler and Armstrong, but it's just put right at that right fielder Richards. That's 2 quick outs.
The Edward Jones leadoff batter of the game. In center field, 6, Miles Gordon.
So to the Edward Jones leadoff hitter we go. The center fielder Miles Gordon. He's the only Otter who has got himself a base hit so far today. It was a leadoff single. He stole second and then watched the next 3 Otters go down in order. The 0-1 pitch, the center fielder Gordon is well high as our count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1. Just barely misses on that outside edge. And the count extends to 2 balls, 1 strike for Miles Gordon. Again outside, and with it, the count's now 3-1 for Miles Gordon, trying to get himself on base for the second time tonight. (3-1) is put foul to the left side, and with it, Miles Gordon sees his counts go full.
Choose the best, never regret it.
A 3-2. Swinging strike 3, and Miles Gordon sits down with a strikeout. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Justin Miller and Windy City. We've played 3 full. It's the Thunderbolts 4, Evansville 0.
Kahler.
Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. Top of the 4th inning here. Cole Kahler set to lead things off for Windy City. They enter the inning with a 4-run advantage, courtesy of that big first inning. First pitch home, stays just a bit low, maybe just under the knees for ball 1 to Kahler. A 1-0 works low again, and Kahler's going to take a couple pitch lead in the counts. Breeze starting to blow in a little bit more from that left field corner in towards home plate as a called strike 1 takes Cole Kahler's count from a 2-0 to 2-1. O'Reilly nods home and then fires a 2-1 pitch that's skied high towards shallow center. Khalil's dropping back, and he will be the one to bring it in for out number 1. The catcher, Jonathan Neves.
Jonathan Nieves.
He's 0 for 1 on the day. One out, nobody on. As the first pitch comes home to Nieves. Finds the outside for ball 1. 1-0 pitch is fouled off of the foot of Nieves. And dribbles foul off towards the dugouts of Windy City. Tomorrow night's the final time these two teams play this season. And if Evansville could find a way to win tonight, tomorrow would decide the season series winner. As coming into tonight's game, Windy City has a 4-3 lead in the season series. A 1-2 to Nieves. Again fouled off, this one towards the Otters dugout. So it's a 1-2 count for the catcher. One out, nobody on, as the 1-2 makes its way home. Stays low and outside, and with it our count evens up. Ryan O'Reilly this season certainly struggled in the games that he's not got good run support in. In his first 4 games, he had a total of 9 runs of support from his offense, and it's just kind of gone down from there. Ball stays low for ball 3. Three balls, 2 strikes. As a pitch comes home from O'Reilly. Misses to the outside, and it's a walk earned by Nieves. Bossy field crowd here tonight. Not too pleased with the call there from Roberto Patterson. But with it, it puts a man at first with 1 out, and the 9-hole hitter Jalen Greer heading to the plate. O'Reilly fires home. The first pitch high and inside to Greer. Breeze is starting to settle down a little bit more. As a 1-0 pitch arrives to Greer, fouls it right back a little bit past Tanksley, just gets a couple feet away from him. And the foul off evens our count at 1 ball, 1 strike. A 1-1 offering towards Greer. Sent out towards right center. Long run for Baez, and he ends up bringing it in right field as it kept curving its way to the right.
Back to the top of the order, second baseman for Brian Klein.
So with a man on first and 2 outs, we head to the top of the order where Windy City will bring up Brian Klein. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Had a leadoff single back in the first, struck out in the second. Here in the 4th inning, and Windy City already starting their 3rd time through the order. First pitch home. Big swinging strike 1 for Brian Klein. The 0-1 to Brian Klein. Still stays way inside. And with it, the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Otters getting into this home stretch now. After tonight, just 16 games remaining on the schedule. After tonight, only 7 of those here at Bossy Field. Ball skied out towards shallow left. Khalil drops back, and he'll bring it in for out number 3. Windy City gets a man on with 1 out, but they aren't able to do anything with it. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Evansville still down by 4 in this one.
Rosario.
Bottom of the 4th inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Evansville still looking for something to kickstart their day. And here in this 4th inning, it'll start off with Brian Rosario, the left fielder. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout to his name. First pitch to him is well outside for ball 1. Rosario returned to the leadoff spot last night. In doing so, grabbed base hits in his first 3 plate appearances. Out to the pitch outside, he's ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Justin Miller kicks and delivers. Showing bunt was Rosario and left it alone for a called strike 1. Ball sent chopping foul to the left side, will end up rolling near the seating area in the Windy City bullpen, as well as evening the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes for Brian Rosario. Pitch on the way. Beautiful pitch comes in for a called strike 3 on Rosario, and he's now 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts on the day. So for the second time today, the designated hitter, Elijah Mcnamee, to the plate.
Designated hitter, 9, Elijah Mcnamee.
Mcnamee also a victim of the strikeout his first time up. First pitch home to Elijah Mcnamee. Right down the middle, called strike 1. Kind of looked like he was taking the pitch all the way. 0-1 to Mcnamee. And a hefty swinging strike 2 has him quickly back in the count. Justin Miller has looked really good in this performance so far. An 0-2 to Mcnamee. Is sent high and foul to the right side, gets himself out of play.
Was brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never quit limits.
An 0-2 to Mcnamee. Swinging strike 3, and it's back-to-back strikeouts to start the 4th. 3 in a row dating back to last inning for Justin Miller. He's got 6 on the day.
Right fielder, 33, Jeffrey Baez.
So the right fielder, Jeffrey Baez, is now the one making the way to the plate. First pitch home to Baez. Cranked out towards center. Chasing in is Martinez, and he'll bring it in for out number 3. A very quick 4th inning. Otters go 3 up, 3 down for the 2nd straight inning, and they've been retired in order the last 8. And with it, we go to the 5th. Otters still down by 4 in this one. Top of the 5th inning. And Evansville, at this point, trying to keep themselves close in this one. After giving up 4 first-inning runs, the game stayed level. Neither side has been able to break through for anything. Due up for Windy City in the half inning is Martinez, Boone, and Richards. Windy City has gotten a man on in each of the first 4 innings. Neither bullpen has had any work thus far.
Center fielder, 2, Bryn Martinez.
Bryn Martinez, the center fielder, who's 2 for 2 on the day, is set to get us started here in the 5th inning as we near the halfway point in this game. First pitch home to Martinez. Inside, ball 1. Martinez out to a 266 average right now. Already has 2 base hits in the game. Takes a pitch in the dirt to take a 2-0 lead in his count. Two-0. Cranked down to right field, and it's past Baez. Gets all the way to the wall. Going towards second is Martinez. The throw in is not in time, and it is a double for Martinez, his 2nd of the day.
The Hoosier Lottery strikeout batter of the game at third base, 6, Jake Boone.
So to the 3-hole spot we go. Third baseman Jake Boone stepping in. He has 2 pop-outs against him so far in the game. They're going to go check on the runner at second, and back in plenty of time was Bryn Martinez. First pitch to Boone. Swinging strike 1. He was just ahead of that pitch. Got a little antsy on the swing. The 0-1, and they catch the man in between second and third. The throw back to second. Is Armstrong there in time? He's not. It looked like they were going to call an out, and then changing his mind out there was the umpire, Tyler Thurmond. Looked like he was about to punch out the runner. Changed his mind. So back in time out there at second was Bryn Martinez, and a huge opportunity for the Otters to get an out, and it is no more. The 0-1 taken low and away to even the count up at a ball and a strike. Our count's evened up at 1 ball, 1 strike for the third baseman, Jake Boone. Again, they will check back. A 1-1. Boone fouls that one off of his foot and down the first baseline. He's in some immediate pain. He's able to pop up and walk it around over there. His manager comes down from the third base coaching box, make sure everything's all good. And it looks like everything is going to be all right for Jake Boone. He just takes a couple extra seconds to regroup. Runner on second, nobody out here in the top of the fifth. Windy City looking to add to their lead. One-two pitch towards Boone. Sent over towards Davis at third. He'll throw across to first just barely in time for out number 1. So an important out, number 1 there.
32, Jairus Richards.
That's the right fielder, Jairus Richards, the next one due up. Richards in the game, 1 for 2. Had a single in the third, but was then picked off shortly after. Ryan O'Reilly jumped to turn towards him, and he took a step towards second, and he was dead in the water at that point. First pitch to Jairus Richards. There goes the runner towards third. The throw down looks good. That time they get him. And now this time it's Martinez making the argument. Martinez is claiming he was safe. So Brody Tanksley gets himself a runner thrown out, and it makes the life for Ryan O'Reilly a whole lot easier now. 2 outs and a 1-0 count to Jairus Richards. Called strike. That evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll see if that was the little spark the Otters needed to go their way, start turning momentum their way now. A 1-1 to Richards. Again, a called strike on that outside edge. So now with 2 outs and nobody on, there's a 1-2 count to Jairus Richards, the right fielder. And a ball low will even the count at 2-2. O'Reilly ready for the 2-2 pitch. On the way, and it's low and inside. The count is full. 3-2 payoff pitch on the way home to Jarius Richards. Sent out towards left, chasing in is Rosario. Plants himself underneath it, and that is out number 3 in the inning. A leadoff double is taken away for Windy City after Martinez tried to grab an extra base. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Evansville down by 4. At the Center Point Energy center point of this game, Evansville trailing by 4. Those were first inning runs that Windy City just hasn't looked back from since. Due up in this inning for Evansville, J.R. Davis, Zach Bierman, and Brody Tanksley.
Third baseman, number 2, J.R. Davis.
These 3 led off the second inning as well. Davis walked in that opportunity, and then Bierman immediately grounded into a strange double play. 1-6-3 officially as it went back up to the pitcher. Tanksley then struck out. Abruptly, the inning was over. First pitch to Davis is sent foul into the top part of Bosse Field. So it's quickly 0-1 for J.R. Davis. We'll spend some time taking a look through the Frontier League as games stand right now as we go through this inning. 0-1 pitch to Davis. High, ball 1. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Florence Yalls lead Washington 4-3. A chance for Florence to get a huge win on the road at Washington. 1-1 is sent high, foul to the right side. Running over there is the first baseman Isaacson, and he runs out of room. Was scared he was going to run into the fence. And he's upset with his catcher, not giving him a good enough warning about how much room he had. Joliet leads Gateway 7-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning right now. Quebec has themselves a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th at Trois-Rivières. And the Lake Erie Crushers up 4-2 against Schaumburg. So Lake Erie's trying to help the Evansville Otters out. Unfortunately, Evansville needs to get a win themselves if they'd like to pull a little closer to Schaumburg. The 1-2 to Davis. Stays low, and our count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Justin Miller standing up there already ready. Nods towards the catcher, and here comes the 2-2 to Davis. High inside, just about caught Davis in the hands. We'll step back and regroup for a second. As night falls here in Evansville, Indiana, temperature beautiful, a little bit of a breeze, perfect night for some baseball. Foul up by Davis, sent over towards the Otters dugout. It's going to end up on the roof here.
An overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
So the counts will remain full for J.R. Davis. Bounces in on that outside edge. Apologies, now it's a 3-2 count. Oh, yeah. It was ball 4. Davis just didn't know. He was ready to take a 5th ball. But a leadoff walk is the second walk of the game for J.R. Davis.
First baseman, 45, Zach Biermann.
One ball, no strikes to Biermann, kicking off his at-bat. A called strike will even things. That pitch was on the outside edge, and I think Biermann was a little frustrated. It was called a strike. One to Biermann. Davis with a little bit of a lead at first, and time is called before the pitch comes home. And no, actually it was a balk called. The home plate umpire called a balk. They're saying Justin Miller never came set. So the count remains at 2-1. Davis is now on second, with nobody out. Two now to Zach Biermann. No outs and a runner at second. Biermann hits one hard right back up the middle. They're going to send Davis towards home. Here comes the relay in towards the plate. It's going to be close, and Davis is out at the plate. No, he's safe. Thought for sure that was going to be an out call, but Davis just got called safe. Must have somehow got the toe in there.
That's City Head double decker double.
Davis comes up a bit shady on his way up. Took a while for him to get up. I thought for sure he was out. But it looks like the home plate umpire is pointing that he got his toe in there just barely. So an RBI double from Zach Biermann has scored a run for Evansville.
The catcher, 46, Brody Tinsley.
Biermann gets himself the RBI single, advance the second on an error. On the throw. Tanksley ready for his opportunity now. No outs, runner at second. There is a man starting to warm up for the Thunderbolts now in that left field pitch.
Officially scored that as a single, advance to second on the throw.
A 1-0 comes home. Tanksley fouls it back into the netting. Tanksley got himself 3 base hits in last night's contest. Good outing for the Tank. So 2-1 the count to the catcher, Brody Tanksley. Runner at second, nobody out. A 2-1. well inside ball 3. Tanksley struck out his first time. Even if Justin Miller can't get himself out of this inning, he has been very good for what he was expected from tonight. I bet they were just hoping he was going to give him 4 solid innings, and he went well into the 5th. Tanksley skies one right behind home, and it's going to end up out of play. And with it, we now have a full count.
Choose the best, never regret it.
There's a view of the man warming up down there, Austin Morozes. An inside pitch will result in a walk for Brody Tanksley. Evansville has men at first and second with nobody out. See if this causes a meeting up on the mound, and indeed it will, as Brian Smith will make the jog out there for Windy City. No change right now. It's just the entire infield in there having a quick chat with Justin Miller. He's been very good so far. Had 6 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. Which, if you're doing your math, that's half of the outs he acquired. So up comes the home plate umpire, Roberto Pattison, to bring a wrap to the discussions up there. Brian Smith's already broke, and now the rest of the infield returns to their spots. There's nobody out. Runners at first and second for Evansville, with George Kahler heading to the plate.
Shortstop, 28, George Kahler.
George Kahler with a big-time opportunity to keep this run alive for the Otters. And stepping off is Miller. He throws back to second just to keep an eye on Zach Bierman back there. Bierman singled in the first run for the Otters, and now Kahler has a chance to bring in a couple more. First pitch home to George Kahler. He shows bunt. It's a perfect one to the left side. Miller picks it up. The throw to first is high, and Kahler's going to reach. And it's an infield single for the Otters. And the bases are loaded. Good placed bunt, and it made Miller have to respond very quickly. He overthrows just a tiny bit. Because of it, the bases are loaded for Andy Armstrong.
Second baseman, one, Andy Armstrong.
I imagine if Armstrong reaches, that's when we are going to see a pitching change for Windy. First pitch to Armstrong. Taken for a called strike. Good looking pitch there. The 0-1 to Andy Armstrong. That stays low. Fell out of the zone a little bit too early. So the count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. These were the opportunities yesterday the Otters could not capitalize on. Left the bases loaded in 2 separate occurrences. A 1-1 home to Andy Armstrong. Pushed out towards the right side, well foul.
Overhead foul ball. Brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
The corner infielders playing well in. One, 2 to Armstrong. High inside. The count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Standing on deck is the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Miles Gordon. A big bat the Otters would love to have come to the plate in a situation like this. 2-2 outside, and it's a full count now for Armstrong. We have our first final of the night. The Florence Y'alls get a 4-3 win at Washington. A win that not only helps out the Y'alls, but helps out the entire West Division. 3-2 to Armstrong. Inside again, and a one-run will walk home. Good work from Armstrong. Earned himself the RBI walk. Bierman comes home to score. Tanksley goes to third. Khalil goes to second. Of course, Armstrong to first. And now we are going to see a change for Windy City. Justin Miller pulled from this game. I'll let you know who comes in for him. Right after this, Otters in a position to strike and potentially grab themselves a lead. Don't go anywhere. We continue the 5th inning right after this. So a pitching change has gone underway, and we have Austin Morozes entering the game for this Windy City squad. It's called to the bullpen, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution. Need Morozes on the mound. Nieves behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery, sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Let them know that Evan the Otter sent you. So it's Austin Morozes who has entered the game for Windy City. He'll face Miles Gordon, the Edward Jones leadoff hitter. Nobody out. Bases are loaded. Wonderful chance for Evansville to strike. The first pitch to Gordon. Outside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes for Miles Gordon. He hits one softly to the right side, will end up near the Otters dugout, and the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gordon staying patient on the 1-1 opportunity. Pitch on the way, taken for a called strike, and Gordon falls back to count 1-2. 1-2 is sent out towards shallow center. Martinez will chase in. He brings it in for out number 1. Evansville will keep everybody where they were. So the bases stay loaded. Still, or now, 1 out, and Brian Rosario headed to the plate.
Left fielder, 13.
Rosario's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts in this game. I'm sure he would love to return the favor to this Windy City squad with a big base hit here. Rosario joined the Otters via a mid-season signing. They were right before, or right at the beginning of July. He was a University of Illinois Chicago player this spring. First pitch to Rosario here, sent to the right side, through for a base hit. 1 run's going to score for Evansville. They're pushing home, Kahler towards home. Play at the plate is wide. They're going to go out to second now, and they won't get the man. Gets past the second baseman, a weird throw home, and another run will score for Evansville. And just like that, the Otters have the lead. It's a 2 RBI single for Brian Rosario. He will advance on the throw. Takes and scores. Kahler scores. And then Armstrong comes around to score on the error from the catcher. And just like that, the Otters pop themselves ahead in the game. The first pitch to Elijah Mcnamee. Swinging strike 1. That pitch just broke away from him. So Rosario's going to bring in 2 with his single. And then the error on the catcher on the throw out towards second allowed Armstrong to reach. The 0-1 stays low. The count evens up. Otters had been dormant, not just tonight, really last night too, in these last couple of nights, and finally they've broken up open for a big half inning. One to Mac. Sent out towards right, another base hit. There comes Rosario around third. The throw towards the plate looks close, but not close enough, and it's a RBI single for Elijah Mcnamee. He'll advance to second on the throw. Evansville was desperate for a big inning.
Right fielder, 33, Jeffrey Baez.
Jeffrey Baez, the 9th Otter to come to bat here in this half inning. Pitch sent right back up the middle. Chasing in is Kahler. His throw over to first is in time to grab Baez. It's a 6-3 fielder's choice that advances Mcnamee to third. Two outs.
Third baseman,
Runner at third, and J.R. Davis making his way to the plate. Pitch comes home to Baez. It bounces in, gets away from the catcher. Mcnamee stuck in between third and home, and he'll be able to get back to third. One ball, no strikes. The 1-0 to J.R. Davis. Taken for a called strike, and our count evens up 1 ball, 1 strike. Second time in this inning, J.R. Davis has been at the plate. He started with a walk. The 1-1 sent towards the second baseman, Klein. He'll pick it up. His throw to first in time, and the inning finally comes to a close. But Evansville scores 6 runs to give themselves a lead. We head to the 6th. Evansville up by 2. Top of the 6th here in Evansville. For the first time in what feels like weeks, and probably is a couple of weeks, get a big inning. And I don't mean, grab a couple of, I mean really grab some runs. In fact, it's the first time in 2 weeks exactly that they have been able to put up more than 2 runs in a singular inning, other than the 3-run home run in the 9th at Joliet. I'm not counting that one because it was so late in the game. It didn't end up making a difference. This is the first time Evansville has really exploded for runs, and they did it with the small things. Base hit, walk, base hit, things like that. Really, really needed for this Evansville team. They're going to start to get an arm warmed up just in case O'Reilly needs some help here in the 6th. Suddenly he's been gifted a lead. Jake Polancic is down there starting to warm up for the Otters. First pitch home to Brent Spillane, taken for a called strike 1. Oh, 1. Somehow misses low. The count evens at a ball and a strike. Base is empty, no outs here. Starting this inning, of course, as the 1-1 pitch comes to Spillane. He launches one out towards right. Baez will step back a few feet, where he will bring it in for out number 1.
First baseman, 15, Peyton Isaacson.
So it brings up Peyton Isaacson. For a while, it looked like his home run was going to be a big piece of this game, and now his squad is behind by a couple. Starts off with a hefty swinging strike 1. Oh, 1 sent on the ground towards Armstrong. He charges in towards it. The relay to first is an absolutely perfect timing.
Shortstop, 11.
So Peyton Isaacson is a victim of the 4-3 ground out, and Cole Kahler makes his way to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. First pitch to Cole Kahler. And a called strike one kicks it off. Surprising news out of the New Jersey Jackals today, by the way, is that the Jackals are no longer calling Yogi Berra Stadium home after this year. 25-year run in that park will come to an end this year. They are still going to remain in the Frontier League and keep their partnership with the Major League Baseball, of course, but in September they'll announce where they're going to be playing baseball from next year on. 0-2 to Cole Kahler. And it's foul tipped into the glove of Tanksley. A wonderful inning from Ryan O'Reilly to back up the big offensive performance from Evansville. We're through 5.5. It's Evansville 6, Windy City 4. You're on your home for the Evansville Otters, the Otters Digital Network. Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Old National Bank. Your bank for Evansville, your bank for life.
First baseman, 45, Zach Biermann.
Evansville set to bring out Bierman, Tanksley, and Khalil here in the 6th. Back in the 5th, Otters batted around, got 6 runs home, grabbed themselves a lead. Called strike one on the outside edge, kicks things off for Zach Bierman. Jake Polancic continues to warm up for Evansville out there in that right field pen. Looks as if he'll be entering in the 8th. 0-1 outside. We'll even our count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bierman had an RBI single his last time at the plate on a close play at home. 1-1 to Bierman. It's fouled off to the left side. And Bierman falls back in the count 1-2. Series concludes tomorrow, 6:35 first pitch here from historic Bosse Field. If you can't join us in person, join us here on the Otters Digital Network for audio-only coverage, or you can join us on Flow Sports for the video coverage. Outside pitch will even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball softly hit back up the middle. It's picked up by Morozes. The throw to first just barely gets out there. And Bierman will be the victim of a ground out.
The catcher, 46, Brody Tanksley.
Brody Tanksley at the plate now. 1 out, nobody on. Tanksley is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk today. Starts off with a called strike 1 on a nice looking pitch from Morozes. Ball sent foul back into the netting. Takes the count to 0-2. Oh, 2 for Brody Tanksley. And again, he fouls a pitch off to the first base side and out of this place. Good work to stay alive.
That overhead foul ball is brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Oh, to the count to Brody Tanksley. High. Inside maybe a little bit, but it's still plenty high. To take the count to 1-2 for the backstop, Brody Tanksley. A swinging strike 3 will sit down Brody Tanksley with his second strikeout of the day. And that's just the first one from Austin Morozes.
Shortstop, 28, George Khalil.
George Khalil got himself a single his last time up, and now he's looking to keep that alive. Pitch comes home for a called strike. Oh, 1. It's foul tipped into the glove of Neves. Two outs. An 0-2 count to George Khalil. Pitch heads home from Austin Morozes. Zoomed foul to the left side in a hurry. Khalil will stay alive in the count. A nice looking pitch there is left alone for ball 1. And with it, Khalil stays alive in the count, 1-2 right now. It's swung through, and it's the second straight strikeout for Austin Morozes. We head to the 7th inning in this one. Otters still lead 6-4 here on the Otters Digital Network. New pitcher on the mound for Evansville, Jake Polancic, is going to enter this game. I tell you what, he has been phenomenal in his last 7 games.
For Windy City.
This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solution. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Polancic on the mound, Tanksley behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. In Polancic's last 7 games, he's gone 11 1/3 innings. In those 11 1/3, he's given up 1 hit, 5 walks, and 19 strikeouts. He has been exceptional in these last 3 weeks. Hands down the choice to go to in these couple of key innings for Evansville to grab some solid outs here and there to then prepare for Sawyer potentially in the ninth. Foul tip into the netting, immediately has him at an 0-2 count. So an 0-2 count to Jonathan Nieves. The catcher Nieves has a pitch day outside for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes to the catcher Nieves. It's outside yet again. Our count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes for the catcher Jonathan Nieves. 2-2. Skied high, fouled away, and we'll live to see another pitch.
The overhead foul ball is brought to you by Hens Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
There is another man warming up for Windy City in their bullpen. Hard to tell exactly what the number is down there. Looks like it could be potentially Ryan Miller. 2-2 from Polancic. Swinging, strike 3. And a German-American Bank strikeout. That's how the day starts for Jake Polancic.
Left fielder, 27, Jalen Greer.
Jalen Greer at the plate now. The 9-hole hitter is 0 for 1, a fly out and a walk. Starts with a called strike 1. Right across the plate on the high part of the zone. Oh, 1 sent sharply to Khalil. He plays it into the glove. The throw across to first is in time for out number 2. Khalil has had a little bit less eventful day with the ground balls over towards him.
For Bryn Klein.
But he's still been consistent. Otters lead 6-4 in this one. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Polancic fires home, and it's a swinging strike 1 for Brian Klein to start things off. Another sheet on the outside. And now Polancic misses just a shade to the lower side of the zone. 2 on the count for Klein. There's 2 outs, nobody on. It's fouled back into the netting. And everything takes a Quick second to reset. We look around the league at a couple games. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Joliet has an 8-0 lead over Gateway. Lake Erie's up 4-2 in the top of the 8th against Schaumburg. Two is right back into the netting. So with that, our count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on here in the 7th. The 2-2 home to Klein. Called strike 3. And another German-American Bank strikeout is how this top of the 7th ends. Time to stretch from Evansville. See ya. Hop up on your feet. Get loose here before the bottom of the 7th inning. Evansville holding on to a 6-4 lead here at historic Aussie Field. Daniel Kite's in to pitch for Windy City as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Daniel Kite is a 6-0 righty out of Oak Grove, South Carolina. Pitched for Lake Erie last year. His 2nd year of professional baseball. 40th appearance on the season. ERA sits just under 5. He's averaging almost a strikeout an inning. It's a call to the bullpen presented by our friends at Business Communication Solution. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Kite's on the mound. And behind the plate is the catcher Nieves. The pitcher-catcher battery sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Armstrong, Gordon, and Rosario are the 3 due up for Evansville. Pitch on the way home. There's a called strike to kick things off here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Otters allowed 4 runs in the top of the 1st. All of them came after an error that would have ended the inning. Then things got very settled down for a long time. In the bottom of the 5th, though, Evansville finds 6 runs and takes a lead. A swinging strike 2 as Armstrong back in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 to Armstrong. Swinging strike 3. And the last 3 Otters have gone down with strikeouts.
Big Cat's Corner in Section 1, rears floor in the Corona Extra Patio Deck, 1 through 5 and 8 ball. Decks 6 through 10. Great to have you with us here at Aussie Field on Wednesday nights. Edward Jones lead off, batted the game in center field 6, Miles Gordon.
So Miles Gordon at the plate now. His last time up, he flew out to center in that big 5th inning for Evansville. First pitch home is a called strike one. No balls, one strike to Miles Gordon. He pushes one out towards left center. Long run for Martinez. He's running towards the left fielder, and he'll be the one that brings it in, nearing the warning track for out number 2. Miles Gordon falls to 1 for 4 on the day.
Left fielder, 13, Bryn Rosario.
Bryn Rosario had the big hit in that 5th inning, the 2-run single. First pitch home is a called strike one on him. Rosario's 1 for 3 on the day. His 2-run single in that 5th is the one that gave Evansville the lead they're still hanging on to. An 0-1 home, taken for a called strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Bryn Rosario. Pitch on the way. Swinging, strike 3 on the inside edge. The Otters go 3 up, 3 down for the second straight inning. We're on to the 8th. Evansville holding on to a 2-run lead.
Center fielder,
Evansville Otters
Bryn
baseball on the
Martinez.
Otters Digital Network is presented by Bud Light. And we head into the top of the 8th inning. Evansville leading this one 6-4. Bryn Martinez, Jake Boone, and Jarius Richards are the 3 due up. First pitch home, taken high and inside for ball 1. Oh, 1 for Martinez. On the outside, take the count to 2-0. Otters and T-Bolts conclude the series tomorrow. Then the Otters hop on the bus and go overnight to Washington for a very important 3-game set with the Wild Things. Called strike will take the count to 2-1 for Martinez. You can catch tomorrow night's game on both Flow Sports and the Otters Digital Network, and then I'll have the audio audio-only version on Otters Digital Network Friday through Sunday there at Washington. 2-1 to Martinez. Is swung on and missed for strike 2, and with it our count evens up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To the center fielder, Bryn Martinez. He has base hits in all 3 of his opportunities so far tonight. Pushes one to the left side. Davis plays it into the glove. The throw across just barely beats him for out number 1. So to the third baseman we go, and Jake Boone, who's 0 for 3 on the day.
The Hoosier Lottery strikeout batter of the game at third base, 6, Jake Boone.
First pitch home to Jake Boone, taken for a called strike 1. Polancic looking to get Evansville through this 8th and set the table for his closer, Logan Sawyer. An 0-1 to Boone. Is fouled towards Tanksley, went off his hand. And because of it, the home plate umpire, Roberto Passon, will go ahead and throw the ball up to Polancic just to give a couple extra seconds for Tanksley to reset. The 0-2 to Boone. Swinging, strike 3. And it's the third German-American Bank strikeout from Jake Polancic.
That strikeout by Jake Boone. The Hoosier Lottery strikeout batter of the game promotion has been won. Fans in Section G will each receive a free Hoosier Lottery ticket. Fans must be 18 or older to receive a prize. Remember, major paper Hoosier Lottery games are available at retailers statewide. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly and enjoy the rest of the game. Right fielder, 32, Jairus Richards.
2 outs, nobody on, and Jairus Richards heading to the plate. Polancic sets himself up, and the pitch comes home. Pitch, a bunt shown, and they say he went around far enough, pushed the bat forward a little for strike 1. Top of the 8th here, and a 0-1 count to Richards. He takes a called strike 2 on the outside edge. And Polancic potentially 1 pitch away from grabbing a strikeout that would be his 4th of the day and end this 8th inning. The 0-2 to Richards. Pushed down the left side, well foul, curved its way out of the park. No balls, 2 strikes to Jairus Richards. Polancic looking in towards Tanksley. Finally has the sign he likes. And the 0-2 on its way. Outside, ball 1.
We'll see y'all soon. Hey, take care. Pleasure meeting you.
So Polancic takes a second to reset while looking in towards his catcher Tanksley. Odds home. And the 1-2 towards Jairus Richards is put in play towards Khalil. He'll run in towards it. The throw over to first, just barely in time for out number 3. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Evansville leads this one, 6-4. Listening to Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network.
Elijah Mcnamee.
Bottom of the 8th inning, and Dazen Cole on the pitch for Windy City. Stands 5'9", 198. Let's go to the bullpen presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Mcnamee, Baez, and Davis due up in the half inning. First pitch to Mcnamee sent foul to the right side. It's Cole on the mound. Nieves behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs. The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Logan Sawyer begins to warm up for Evansville out in the right field pen. As the 0-1 makes its way home towards Elijah Mcnamee. Stays low and a bit to the outside edge. Even the count at 1-1. Mcnamee ready for the 1-1. It's taken for a called strike 2 on that outside edge. It's a good pitch right at the knees from Dazen Cole. Cole comes into Windy City from the Missoula Paddleheads. A 1-2 to Mcnamee. Swinging strike 3, chased that one out of the zone. It's a third strikeout of the day for Mcnamee. A couple of scores worth noting throughout the league. Bottom of the 8th inning, Joliet up 8-0 on Gateway. Lake Erie has a 5-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th against Schaumburg. And of course, in that other game in the West Division, Florence got a 4-3 win at Washington. First pitch home to Jeffrey Baez is swung through for strike 1. So if Schaumburg does go on to fall there at Lake Erie, and Evansville gets the win in this one, they would move themselves one game closer, just be one game back of the Boomers. An 0-1 to Jeffrey Baez, taken low and inside. The count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. Logan Sawyer already turning and looking in towards the play. Seems ready to go out there and right. Pitch way outside. Easy for Baez to leave alone. The count's at 2-1. One out, nobody on, and a 2-1 pitch to Baez. Again, well outside. It's all the way back towards the backstop again. Dazen Cole resets before stepping back up onto the mound. A deep breath as he looks in towards his catcher, Nieves. The 3-1 home to Baez, and it's foul tipped into the mask of Nieves, and the count goes to full. Jeffrey Baez taking his time to step back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes to him with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch comes home. Well outside again, and Jeffrey Baez has himself a walk on the full count. First time on base today for Baez.
Sidewalk, cafe, and bar.
And with Baez's walk there, every Otter has now reached base safely in the game. He was the final one.
Third baseman to J.R. Davis.
One man on, one man out with Davis at the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. It's a called strike 1 to kick things off for Davis. Gateway is down to their last couple outs at Joliet, down 8-0. Looks like the Slammers might get themselves an important win. 0-1 stays high and evens our count for Davis. Baez was hinting towards second, opted to stay there. One ball, one strike. High outside, 2-1 count. Baez stands on first. There's one out on the board. Evansville just looking for insurance at this point. Outside again, and it's a 3-1 count. Sawyer getting his final warm-up pitches in out there and right. Says any second this inning could end, and he'd be ready to come in and try to close this one out. There goes Baez towards second. Ball's hit down the third base line, but foul. So Baez will have to make his way back over to first. We only have scoring in 2 half innings today. Top of the first, bottom of the fifth. Everything else has been goose eggs. A 3-2 to the third baseman, J.R. Davis. There goes Baez towards second. It's a swinging strike 3. The throw out is just late, so Baez is going to get himself a stolen base. And Windy City's... Oh, they're saying J.R. Davis interfered with the throw at home plate, so Baez is out at second, and that will end the bottom of the 8th inning. So we go to the 9th, and the Frontier League's best closer will enter the game to help give Evansville a potential 6-4 win. Don't go anywhere. 9th inning comes at you next.
This call the bullpen presented by.
Well, you know what that sound means. Logan Sawyer, the Frontier League's top closer, entering the game to try to give Evansville their first win in over a week. Sawyer making his 25th appearance on the season this evening. He enters the game with the most saves in the league, 18 to be exact. This call to the bullpen presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Sawyer on the mounds. Brody Tanksley behind the plate, that pitcher catcher battery, sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. You can call it 812-475-9000. Due up in the half inning for Windy City. Bryn Martinez, Peyton Isaacson, and Cole Kahler. The 3 combined for just 1 hit on the day, and it was Peyton Isaacson's 3-run home run there in the first. Sawyer getting set for his final warm-up pitch, and we are ready to go here in the top of the 9th inning. Could be a very important win in the grand scheme of things for Evansville if they can hang on to it.
Designated hitter 34, Bryn Martinez.
Evansville 6, Windy City 4. As we head to the top of the ninth inning, Logan Sawyer on the mound. He'll face Bryn Martinez, Peyton Isaacson, and Kahler. First pitch home to Spillane is fouled off back behind home. And it's immediately strike one. The 0-1 to Spillane. Fouled right back into the netting, making an 0-2 count. Series concludes tomorrow night, 6:35 first pitch. On a Thirsty Thursday and a Stounds. If you'd like to come join us at Bossy Field, get your tickets now at EvansvilleOtters.com. An 0-2 to Spillane. Stays just over the elbows for ball one. One, two the count to Bryn Spillane, the designated hitter for this Windy City squad. Swinging, strike three. And a German-American Bank strikeout kicks things off for Logan Sawyer.
That's a German-American Bank strikeout. First baseman, 15, Peyton Isaacson.
Peyton Isaacson's turn to head to the plate. It looked like his big three-run home run was going to be just about all Windy City needed to grab a win tonight. And then that fifth inning, Evansville exploded for 6 of their own and made it not matter too much. First pitch to Isaacson here is fouled off to the left side. Goes off the rim of the roof here, off towards the bullpen. No balls, one strike to Peyton Isaacson. There's one out, nobody on here in the top of the ninth inning. 0-1 is again fouled off to that left side. Will end up in the parking lot.
That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Still unsure who's going for Evansville tomorrow, as they listed a to be determined for their probable pitcher. Could be a bullpen day potentially. They'll go against Jack Alkire for Windy City. Alkire 0 for 2 on the year with a 4.81 ERA. 0-2 swung on and missed. It's back-to-back German-American Bank strikeouts here in the ninth for Logan Sawyer.
Strikeouts. Shortstop, 11, Kahler.
Down to their last outs are the Windy City Thunderbolts. And it's Kahler who will come in to try to do the deed for him. He's 0 for 3 on the day. A ground out, a pop out, and a strikeout. First pitch home. High, ball one. Sawyer, like usual, registering up there in the high 90s. Has a fastball that likes to live in anywhere between 95, 97. A lot of these hitters just are behind it. Know their way around it. 1-0 stays high for ball two. Two outs, nobody on, and Logan Sawyer trying to pick up his league-leading 19th save of the season and give Evansville a huge win here in these last few weeks of the season. 2-0 home is lifted out towards left. Rosario will chase in a few feet, gets underneath it. There's out number 3. And the losing streak comes to an end. Evansville gets a 6-4 win here at home and evens this series at 1-1. Rubber match tomorrow. Evansville will look to win themselves a very important season or series as we head into one of the most important parts of this whole season for Evansville. They play at Washington this week. They have 6 games on the road to end the season. Some of these home games are going to be really important for Evansville to grab W's in. We head back to the first inning. That's when the scoring got started in this game. Windy City got an opening run on an error on the third baseman, J.R. Davis. Directly after it, Peyton Isaacson launched a 3-run home run out of this place. And with that, things slowed down for a while. We saw a bunch of goose eggs through the middle innings. We got to the 5th inning. And in the top of the 5th inning, Bryn Martinez tried to steal third. He was caught trying to steal, and I said at that moment, I thought that was going to be a turning point in this game for Evansville because they thought they had got him at second when O'Reilly turned and tried to get him out there. They said he did not get tagged out. Evansville thought maybe they had. Then he tries to steal. They got him out that time. Martinez didn't think he had got out. I thought, this might be a big point for Evansville to work some momentum from. And immediately in the bottom half of the 5th, they did just that. Davis reached on a walk before Bierman brought him home with an RBI single. A few batters later, Andy Armstrong had a bases-loaded walk that brought home another run for Evansville. Then Brian Rosario launched a 2-run single out there to bring in 2 more. Elijah Mcnamee would bring in a run with an RBI single, and Andy Armstrong would make it all official as he scored on an error as well on one of the plays. And in the grand scheme of things, Evansville was able to grab themselves 6 runs in that inning. And then once again, we hit a standstill as we went through the back half of this game, really. It was basically 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down on both sides. Jake Polancic with another great performance for Evansville. And suddenly we were at the 9th, and the Frontier League's top closer, Logan Sawyer, had a chance to come into this game and put things away, and that's exactly what he did. Back-to-back German American Bank strikeouts started the 9th, then a fly out to Rosario is how this one ended. And I imagine emotionally this was one Evansville needed, a game that they rallied from behind in, had a big inning, something they haven't had a lot of in the last couple weeks, and then had solid pitching to close out a game. Felt like they had a lot of the key pieces there tonight, and hopefully this is a win they can build into a successful end of the week against both Windy City and, of course, Washington on the road. Still a lot at play. Still right there in the mix of things. It looks like Schaumburg could potentially lose tonight. That would bring Evansville 1 game closer and just 1 game away from reclaiming second in this West Division. This fight is not over yet. Evansville is right back in the thick of it after an important win tonight. Evansville wins this one 6-4. O'Reilly gets the win. Miller takes the loss, and Logan Sawyer gets his Frontier League leading 19th save of the season. I want to thank you for tuning in to Evansville Otters baseball. A lot of you can do on your Wednesday night. We're glad you chose to spend it with the Evansville Otters. For all of us here at the Evansville Otters, I'm Matthew Wills saying so long from beautiful, historic Bosse Field. I'll talk to you tomorrow night as the Thunderbolts and Otters conclude their season series for 6:35 first pitch. 6:20 is when the pregame show starts. Talk to you then.